everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro, and it's a very different show tonight because it's election night, and we typically don't do a show that evening.
No, first time in 20 years that we have done one on election night. The strange occurrences of 2020 continue. The roller coaster ride that is the fall sports schedule has taken a couple more turns since last we sat on the desk. Football team had to cancel its game last Friday against Irondale due to a COVID investigation. The good news is they are on for the final two games of the regular season.
Yeah, it's great. I'm so happy for them. They're able to start practice again this week, and of course they'll be able to go to Park Center on Friday and play their next game, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll get a home game before the regular season ends.
Yeah, they are scheduled to host Armstrong a week from Wednesday on the 11th to complete the regular season, and there is to be a section tournament, so we hope that things go smoothly the rest of the way for them. Howie sat down with Activities Director Kurt Walrath to talk about that situation as well as everything they're looking forward to and hoping for the winter, and we'll have that interview for you a little bit later on in the program. Fortunately, the volleyball season was able to roll on last week, and the Cardinals bus rolled its way to Centennial on Wednesday. The Cougars started the season with back-to-back losses, but had won 3 of their previous 4. They were solidly in the middle of the conference standings and would make the Cardinals work on every point. Cardinals keeping pace early in the first set. They work it in the middle for Bella Brasnahan, and she delivers. Coon Rapids with a lead at 8-7 in the first set. But the Cougars come roaring back and control the rest of that opening set. Cardinals unable to attack on the serve-receive, and Centennial makes them pay. Set up on their right side, huge hammer to the corner for Sydney Peterson, clinches a 25-18 win. Cardinals never get going in the second, and Centennial is just downright dominant. Peterson will get another kill for set point again, this time the cross court from the left. 25-6 gives Cougars a 2-0 lead. Cardinals not going down without a fight, tied at 24 in the third set. Watch the play by Audrey Anderson in the back corner. She makes a pair of great digs to keep the point alive. Seda Green able to finish it at the net and give the Cardinals the advantage 25-24. And they cash in on set point. Coon Rapids setting it up for Becca Masteller. She pounds it off the block and out of bounds. And the Cardinals send it to a fourth set with a 26-24 win. But the Cougars finish it in the fourth. Match point isn't a clean attack for the Cougars, but it does find the floor, and it ends the Cardinals' night with a 25-15 loss.
Well, on Monday, the Cardinals welcome the Blaine Bengals to the Fieldhouse. At 4-3 on the year, the Bengals are right in that same pack of teams in the middle of the standing. It'll be another great challenge for this Cardinal club. Cardinals able to match up well with the Bengals early in the first set. Nice turn off the Blaine attack set up for Masteller. She pushes it over on the block. Still, Cards trail 7-4. Well, this one gets away from them, unfortunately, in a hurry. As the Bengals put together big runs to cruise to an easy win in the first, poor serve receive ends it with Blaine winning 25-7 in the first. Coon Rapids gets the jump to start the second set. Masteller showing a power, getting the Cards to a 3-0 lead. Well, the score is going to stay tight to the end of the second. Big ace for Michaela Wilbur to break a tie to give Coon Rapids a 24-23 set point. How do you follow that? Well, you put a different spin on it. Wilbur with a pair of aces to end the 25-23 Cardinals win that even the match at 1 set apiece. Move to early in the third now. Another tiebreaker for Wilbur, this time attacking on the left side. It gives Coon Rapids the early 6-5 edge. Well, it's Blaine, though, that strings some runs together to pull away. Great kill by Clara Brown to the back corner. Bengals take a 2-1 advantage. A 25-15 victory in the third. Cardinals trailing but staying close in the fourth. Huge stuff for Nicole Post at the net, helping keep hopes alive. But the Bengals aren't going to let it get to the fifth and final. Blaine attacking in the middle. Ella Kappas gets the kill to the floor. Match point, 25-14. Blaine the final in the fourth.
Yeah, and a couple of good teams for the Cardinals to go up against, but so glad to see them continuing. Again, that was, a week or so ago, that match against Blaine was in question.
Yes.
Whether that would be able to happen. As it is, they continue. They're at Armstrong on Thursday, and they will host Elk River on Monday.
It's actually Tuesday, Elk River, because you'll be there. You'll be there
next Monday, and I will be there. We will be there.
The only game that we've seen that the Cardinals have won when you and I were together. So I blame Jeremy Smith for the other losses, and so that means that we've guaranteed a win when you and I are there next Tuesday night.
Okay, you heard it here first. We did, as I mentioned, have a short interview with Kurt Walrath. Howie sat down with him just earlier this afternoon to get some more perspective on what happened with the football team and what the activity schedule will look like moving forward.
Watching your favorite Cardinal sports live is getting even easier. Whether it's CTN Cable Channel 859, the CTN Facebook and YouTube pages, or now live on our Twitter page. You choose how you want to watch Cardinal Nation. With CTN, you'll be able to catch all the big plays, all the emotion, and all the fun of Coon Rapids sports. CTN Coon Rapids, stay connected. Welcome to a very special interview. Howie Shapiro along with Kurt Walrath, the activities director / vice principal at Coon Rapids High School. Welcome to the show, Kurt, first and foremost.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me, Howie.
Okay, I've got a hard-hitting question for you first to start this show. Is there anything at Coon Rapids High School that you do not do?
Yeah, there's that other duties as assigned line that they throw around, and they mean it, and especially in this year, in this situation. Yeah, there's some stuff that we never dreamed we'd be doing that we've been having to do, but it's all fun. Most of it is anyway.
Well, I would certainly want to thank you for coming in here and talking with us today. We'll talk about the heavy stuff right now. So about a week or so ago, we got word that somebody on the Coon Rapids team tested positive for COVID. The practices were shut down and the game was postponed. Well, thank God, everything is okay now. They have the ability to practice and play this coming Friday at Park Center. Talk a little bit about, if you would, about what happened and the path that they took to get to this point where we are now.
Yeah, well, I think the really fortunate thing is as a district, we've got this great health team that we work with. So I think the first thing is just that the decision and all of that goes with it is never solely in my hands, thankfully for that. We've got a great team that works together, and part of that team is within our building, our school nurse, and then part of it is at the district level. So, you can imagine, too, in this day and age with what's happening, the number of cases across the county and everywhere, that every person who's not feeling good or any rumors of someone not feeling good, we have to investigate as a district and in our activities office. So we've been doing that, and occasionally things come up and it hits a little bit closer to home than you hope it's going to be. And then you have to go, through the process of who's been in close contact, for how long, what did that look like, when was the last time we saw that person, who were they with? It's quite the investigation, but it's got to be that way. I mean, if we're gonna keep kids safe and families safe in this environment and staff safe, we've got to ask all the questions. So it was a couple days of a lot of phone calls and a lot of talking to people, but having that really supportive group of people to have that conversation with and bounce around ideas and what we need to do was really helpful.
I can imagine Coach Russin was excited when he got that call that things are clear and he can go back to start practicing and playing again.
Oh, he was incredibly excited. Yeah, I mean, he's been great. His whole staff has been great. I mean, they've taken every precaution that we've asked them to take, every precaution that the high school league has asked them to take. They've been fantastic, and it's heartbreaking to have to tell a coach and have to tell kids that, hey, we got to take a break, especially when you don't know exactly when things are going to come back, when things are going to be normal again. Yeah. So, yeah, to be able to have that conversation and say, hey, we're back at it, everybody was really, really excited and ready to go.
You talked about precautions. Were there any additional precautions added after this for the football team and teams in general?
Yeah, I think the additional precaution is just sort of more vigilance. Paying more attention to conversations that are going on, paying more attention to things that kids say, how kids are feeling. There's a little bit, we ask questions of our kids every day and our staff. How are you feeling coming into practice? All these questions that kids are accustomed to hearing every day. Now we're paying even more attention. We've always been paying attention to the answers, but we're paying even more attention to what kids say and what's happening to make sure that we're staying safe. So, I mean, I'm really comfortable with all of the precautions we've been taking all along, but now I think it's just a good time to just put an extra emphasis on it and extra vigilance, and that's what we've been doing.
Has it been difficult with the distance learning and keeping everybody involved and everybody up to date on what's going on with this whole procedure?
It's been really tricky. Yeah, I mean, I think that adds an extra layer. Just activities in general with kids not in the building every day, trying to disseminate information, trying to talk with kids, trying to make sure that they're okay. And it's so much harder. You know, it's so much harder to do by phone. It's so much harder to do by Zoom call or Google call. You can't get the true feelings, you know, you can't get the true expression of what's really going on. So that's been really difficult, and it's so quiet at school this week. We miss the kids,
I can
and
imagine.
it's a relief to have the kids come in at 3 o'clock to practice. You know, you get that normal at the end of the day, which is really nice. It's much needed.
So I'm assuming that they'll continue with the section playoffs at the same schedule, that won't change at all?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, we've got kind of a short turnaround. Next week we play early, and then section play will continue right away. So, you know, not only are we getting right back at it quick, but we've got to prepare for a short week and then sections coming up right after. But our coaches are doing a great job, and they know that everything that happens this year is unusual and crazy, and having to be flexible and prep on the run, knowing that things could change in any moment, that's something they've been doing all along. So they're ready for it. We're ready for it.
Good. Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the upcoming winter sports season. What are the anticipation and thoughts? When is it going to start on time? Are there any concerns going into the winter season that you can anticipate? Because we all know things can happen, but any changes or any anticipation for winter sports?
Absolutely. Well, we're full steam ahead right now. I mean, everything that we're hearing from the high school league regarding start dates. We got all our information on Friday for each individual sport. What are the COVID protocols that coaches and ADs are going to have to follow, and what does that look like? All that's come in on schedule. Everything that we're hearing is good. Obviously, there's a concern. We know what our numbers look like in Anoka County and really state and nationwide. And you know, every day that we have to prepare, we're thankful for it. But we're going to be ready to go. Our coaches are ready to go. We've started our preseason meetings. We've started ordering supplies and equipment that's got to be here on time. I mean, everything is a go, and everything that we hear is good and positive. So we're ready for whatever life throws at us, but so far so good.
I know in talking with Coach O a little bit, they're very excited to get the season started, and they're chomping at the bit to get things going. I'm sure all coaches in winter sports are feeling pretty much the same way.
Absolutely. Coach O in particular,
yeah.
He's wired all the time.
I know, he's the best.
He is the best. But no, they really are. And I think everybody understands, you know, not to put pressure on coaches, but with all the things that our kids are lacking this year and they're not getting, the importance of all of this and giving kids an experience in a difficult environment. You know, knowing that things are going to look different. We might not have the culminating events at the end of the season. The banquets might look different. The team pictures might look different. Every coach knows the power of togetherness, and just getting those kids together and having an experience together, albeit a different one, is so important. And I know our winter coaches are ready to do that.
Now, we talk all the time about how, you know, seniors in particular are affected by this, and their senior seasons will not be the same. But they all seem to adjust well, and with the circumstances that are going on, because really you have no choice. But all the kids, especially the seniors, have seemed to have adjusted well so far.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, they really are appreciating the little things, you know. And I know they're afraid and thinking about, hey, is the rest of this year going to look like this? What am I going to miss? I mean, they're thinking about prom already, all the things that go on in the spring, and of course we're hopeful that all those things are going to happen. But you know, in talking to kids, they're appreciating the little things. Like we did a senior sunrise event last week at the stadium where kids just came in and distanced and watched the sunrise and ate some donuts. Nice. And kids showed up with smiles on their faces, and every little thing is a little bit more important and appreciated. And that's what I appreciate about our kids is the positive attitude that they have every day.
These kids are amazing. There's no question about that. Final question for you. Are there going to be any different protocols? You talked about protocols going into winter season in terms of, hey, if this particular thing happens, we're going to maybe put a halt to the season. Have they changed any of those guidelines whatsoever?
Yeah, not too much, you know, and I think in part because every situation is so different. The circumstances surrounding every situation are so different. So, you know, I think the mode of investigation and how that works and who we're needing to talk to and when, all that is going to remain the same. I mean, I feel really comfortable as a school, as a district, and even as a state that we've got that process down to a point where we've got the best chance to keep kids safe. So I'm excited about it.
Well, I really want to thank you for coming in and getting an opportunity to film this. We're going to be able to watch this on Sportsnight so everybody can see what's going on, and we really appreciate you coming in today and giving us a few minutes of your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Excited to be here. Always fun to talk with you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and Joe and I will be back to talk about what Kurt has said.
After quarantine, everyone's bound to look a little different. Some people gained a little weight, others lost some. Some had longer hair or a new beard. With Joe and Howie, it was a little different. Don't get me wrong, they acted like the same old Joe and Howie. But they came back with a different energy. But something was off.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro, and it really
So, of course, most of these contingency plans no one would have thought of a year ago. Now it sounds like in the interview that they're making a lot of planning early on and a lot of fingers staying crossed that things will continue to become more and more normal as we move forward.
It's been such an up and down situation, and now you've got an opportunity here to continue the season out. We're keeping our fingers crossed for that. They've got a really good plan in action to continue the season and move on to the winter sports season as well. And we're just hoping that everything just goes smoothly as possible so they can do that.
Well, and I really enjoyed the part where he expressed hope of a possible prom and those other things for all high school kids, those rites of passage that could come back. And, as I don't remember which of the athletes we talked to had said in the Spotlight piece, I just really want to walk across the stage in the spring. And that definitely keeping our fingers crossed that the class of 2021 will have some sort of graduation ceremony and prom, and also that all the activities continue as well.
Yeah, and one of the interesting, we talked about distance learning, and he says it's great because it's quiet around the school without the kids there. When they come back at 3 o'clock to start practice, it gets a little more energy in the building. So he obviously loved to see that.
Well, we will have lots of energy for you. We have football coming up on Friday from Forest Lake. And then next week, it's volleyball on Tuesday and football on Friday from Park Center.
From Park Center on Friday.
I meant that.
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Thanks for laughing. I wouldn't have noticed it I wouldn't have caught it if you hadn't laughed at me. So we have volleyball on Tuesday and football on Wednesday next week. We will hope to have a show for you at some point. We're not exactly sure. Stay tuned because 2020 changes everything. But that is all the time we have for this edition of Sports Night. We want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young saying good night.